God says you've been sensing it for a while now, that quiet shift in the atmosphere around you, like something soft yet unstoppable moving in your direction. Heaven has been whispering it, small signs have been echoing it, and your own spirit has been tugging at you, asking you to look closer. He's falling for you, not softly, not casually, not temporarily. He's falling deeply, honestly, uncontrollably. And God has been watching this unfold with a kind of gentle intention, because this connection was never an accident, never a coincidence, never a random spark. Something in him recognizes something in you, something he didn't expect to feel, something that startled him awake. But just as God is opening the path, there's someone standing in the way, holding on to a place that was never meant to last, clinging to him out of fear, insecurity, control, or convenience. She isn't blocking the path because she loves him. She's blocking it because she senses he's slipping away, drifting towards something deeper, something more true, something she cannot compete with, something destiny placed. God wants you to know that the pull you feel is not imagined. When his thoughts drift toward you in moments he never intended to think of you, that's not a coincidence, it's alignment. When he tries to focus on his routine, his responsibilities, his familiar surroundings, and yet your name rises in his mind like a quiet flame. That's not his heart being weak, it's his soul remembering something it buried. He's been fighting it, hiding it, pretending it's not happening, pretending he can control it. But feelings like this don't get controlled. God says they rise exactly when they're meant to rise, and right now, everything inside him is rising toward you. Still, there is her presence, her influence, her grip, her history, her fear of losing what she doesn't truly appreciate. God sees it. He sees the tension, the confusion, the hesitation, the emotional entanglement that has been delaying what he's trying to bring together. She's standing there like a wall, not because God put her there, but because she placed herself there out of fear of being replaced. She senses something shifting. She senses that his eyes don't light up for her the way they used to, that his energy changes when you enter his thoughts, that the connection he feels with you is not something she can imitate no matter how hard she tries. She's holding on, not because she fits him, but because she fears what will happen if she lets go. But God has a message for you. You are not fighting for him. You are not competing for him. You are not proving yourself for him. What is meant for you will not need a battle of comparison. God is not asking you to push, chase, pressure, or interfere. God is asking you to stand, to trust, to stay aligned, because the path that is blocked right now is not blocked forever. Someone may be standing there, but they cannot hold a place that was never theirs by divine design. When God begins to shift hearts, no human hand can stop it. When God begins to untangle a connection, no amount of forcing can keep it together. When God begins to reveal truth, no lie can survive the exposure. He's falling for you, and he's confused by it. He didn't plan to feel this way, didn't prepare for it, didn't think he would meet someone who makes his whole internal world rearrange itself. You didn't chase him. You didn't convince him. You didn't manipulate the moment. You just existed, with your spirit, your sincerity, your honesty, your presence. And he noticed. He noticed the softness in you, the strength in you, the calm in you, the authenticity he doesn't find in many people. He noticed how peaceful he feels near you, even from a distance. When his soul recognizes safety, it leans in, even when his mind tries to pull away. He tried to bury this feeling under routine, under logic, under responsibility, under fear. But God sees the moments he thinks of you when no one is watching. God sees the way he replays your conversations in his mind, wondering why your voice stays with him longer than it should. God sees the way his heart accelerates when your name appears on his screen, the way he checks for your messages, the way he wonders what you're doing even when he has no right or reason to. God sees the way he compares you to her without meaning to, and every comparison reveals the truth he's avoiding. God sees the quiet internal war he's fighting, the war between what he's used to and what he truly wants, between what's familiar and what's meant, between who he was and who he's becoming. And God knows the timing. God knows that this moment is delicate, that this shift cannot be rushed, that this unraveling cannot happen overnight. Because when God removes someone, he does it gently, cleanly, with purpose, so no one gets destroyed, only redirected, and he wants you to know this. Her presence is temporary, but your connection is not. She is holding on to him because she feels him slipping. But her grip is weakening. You are not the reason. His soul is. His heart is. His truth is. She senses the emotional distance growing. She senses that his laughter isn't the same, his energy isn't the same, his attention isn't the same. She senses that he has already left emotionally, even if he hasn't said it out loud. God is guiding him toward clarity. God is showing him what peace feels like. God is allowing him to feel the difference between attachment and connection, between being stuck and being aligned, between being tolerated and being understood. She might block the path now, but she cannot block God's plan. She cannot block what his spirit is waking up to. And she cannot block a connection that heaven has already approved. He's falling for you, and it frightens him because it feels too real, too strong, too sudden, but not random. He feels drawn to you in a way he cannot put into words. He senses that you are not here to take something from him, you are here to reflect something within him. You show him what genuine feels like. You show him what calm feels like. You show him what home feels like. She makes him feel like he has to perform. You make him feel like he can breathe, but God is saying, let me handle the obstacles. Let me move who needs to be moved. Let me break what needs to be broken. Let me reveal what needs to be seen. You don't need to step into the chaos. You don't need to worry about what she's doing. You don't need to question if he feels what you feel. He does. More than you know. More than he admits. More than he's ready to face. But God is preparing him. God is awakening him. God is unraveling his confusion piece by piece. He's falling. She's blocking. But God is clearing. And nothing, absolutely nothing, will stop what he has already set in motion. There is a restlessness growing inside him, a quiet dissatisfaction he can't explain to anyone, not even to himself. He wakes up some mornings feeling like something in his life doesn't fit anymore, like a piece of his spirit has shifted and everything familiar suddenly feels slightly out of place. He tries to ignore it. He tries to convince himself he's imagining it. He tries to stay loyal to the routines he built, to the promises he made, to the version of himself he used to be. But the truth is rising inside him slowly, quietly, insistently. God is stirring something in him, and whether he wants to or not, he's being guided toward a new realization. This shift isn't coming from temptation or curiosity. It's coming from awakening. His heart has started recognizing you even when his mind tells him to stay where he is. Something about you speaks to a part of him that he didn't even know was silent. Something about your presence makes him feel seen, understood, respected, valued, and strangely safe. You don't demand anything from him. You don't pull him. You don't chase him. But your energy reaches him without trying, and he feels it. It settles into the spaces he tried to ignore. It lingers in the moments when he's alone. It echoes in the quiet hours of the night when everything else fades and truth becomes louder. She can feel it too. She may not know the details, she may not understand what's happening. But she senses the shift. She senses the slipping away. She senses that she's losing the emotional hold she once had. That's why she's blocking the path, not out of love, but out of fear. She fears losing the version of him she depended on. She fears losing the attention, the comfort, the routine. She fears facing the truth that she cannot reach his heart the way you already have, and so she tries harder. She asks more questions. She becomes more controlling. She clings tighter. She checks his reactions. She studies his expressions. She tries to pull him back into a space he's already outgrowing. She notices the way he drifts off when she talks. She notices the way he gets quiet at random moments. Lost in thoughts she can't enter. She notices the way he hides his phone more, not out of guilt but out of inner conflict. She notices the way his heart isn't fully present anymore, even while his body is. But God wants you to understand something important. Her frantic grip is not a sign of strength, it's a sign of collapse. When a connection is truly solid, it doesn't need to be forced, controlled, or guarded. He doesn't let her hold him. He simply lets it happen because he isn't ready to confront the truth yet. But confrontation is coming. God has been pressing on his spirit, nudging him in moments he doesn't expect, placing clarity in his path in ways he can no longer ignore. He is starting to see how much of his life has been shaped by habit rather than intention, by obligation rather than emotion, by expectation rather than destiny. He is starting to feel the difference between someone who wants to possess him and someone who wants to understand him. You don't demand space in his life, but somehow he's already made space for you in his mind. You don't ask for his attention, but he finds himself giving it to you anyway. You don't ask for his heart, but it is slowly bending toward you without permission, and God is telling you this because you need to understand the quiet work happening behind the scenes. What looks complicated right now is actually a process of unraveling something that was never built on divine foundation. You are not witnessing chaos. You are witnessing transition. You are witnessing God's hand loosening ties that were never meant to stay tied. You are witnessing a man coming to terms with emotions he can't suppress anymore. He thinks the timing is wrong. He thinks the situation is messy. He thinks he shouldn't feel this way while someone else is still in the picture. But God is showing him that the wrong timing is only wrong when something is forced. When something is aligned, the timing becomes right because God makes it right. He feels guilty for falling for you, not because the feeling is wrong, but because the situation around him hasn't caught up with the truth in his heart. He feels torn between loyalty and destiny, between comfort and authenticity, between what he thought he wanted and what his soul is reaching for now. He wonders if you feel what he feels. He wonders if you think of him as much as he thinks of you. He wonders if maybe he's imagining everything, but then something happens. Your words, your silence, your presence, your energy, and it confirms what he tries to deny. He tries to act unaffected, uninterested, detached. But the moment you walk away, he feels the pull stronger. The moment he stops talking to you, he feels the absence immediately. The moment he tries to go about his day without thinking of you, you somehow slip back into his thoughts like a soft, inevitable whisper. God sees all of this. God sees the confusion, the resistance, the longing, the conflict. God sees the way he wants to step toward you and the way something still holds him back. But God also sees that the thing holding him back is temporary. She isn't blocking the path, she's delaying the clarity. And delays are not denials. Delays are not endings. Delays are not failures. They are simply pauses in divine timing. God is saying, don't mistake a pause for a refusal. Don't mistake a delay for disinterest. Don't mistake silence for absence. He is processing. He is waking up. He is untangling himself. He is learning the difference between pressure and peace. And every day, little by little, the truth rises inside him like a quiet sunrise. The more he sees you, the more he feels something he cannot push away. The more she tries to hold him, the more he feels trapped. The more he compares the energy, the more he realizes where his heart feels alive. He is falling, but he's trying to fall secretly because he doesn't want to hurt anyone. He doesn't want to cause chaos. He doesn't want to make the wrong choice. But God is guiding him toward the right one, even if the right choice feels scary at first. God is aligning his steps. God is softening his heart. God is preparing the separation. God is preparing the confession. God is preparing the release. He's falling for you. She's standing in the way. But God is slowly shifting everything so that the truth cannot be hidden anymore, not from you, not from him, and not from the path you are both being moved toward. There comes a moment in every story where God stops whispering and begins revealing, where the quiet signs become undeniable, where the subtle nudges turn into clear direction. That moment is approaching for him. He has been standing in an emotional doorway for far too long, torn between what his heart is quietly choosing and what his circumstances are loudly demanding. He has been trying to stretch himself between two worlds, trying to honor what once felt right while still resisting what now feels divinely aligned. But a heart that has already chosen cannot pretend forever. The truth is already pushing against the walls he has built. He doesn't want to admit it yet, but he knows he can't stay in a place where his spirit feels suffocated. He knows that staying where he is would be choosing comfort over growth, fear over truth, habit over alignment. He knows that something has shifted inside him so deeply that he can't go back to how things were. Even if he tried, even if he forced himself, even if she held on with all her strength, his heart has already turned toward you like a compass pointing north. He may not say it, he may not show it, he may not fully understand it, but something inside him has already declared you as the direction he wants to move toward, and God is reminding him that the soul's truth cannot be suppressed forever. God doesn't place someone on your path to confuse you. God doesn't ignite a connection out of season. God doesn't awaken a feeling just to leave it incomplete. What he feels for you isn't a distraction, it's a redirection. It's God showing him that the love he thought he knew is not the love he's meant for. It's God showing him that peace isn't supposed to feel like struggle. It's God showing him that real connection doesn't require proving anything, competing with anyone, or forcing someone to choose you. Real connection speaks on its own, breathes on its own, reveals itself in moments that feel almost sacred, and he feels that with you. Even in silence. Even from a distance. Even when he tries not to. You feel different. You feel like clarity. You feel like truth. You feel like alignment. You feel like the future he's been avoiding out of fear of hurting someone who has already been losing his heart long before you arrived. She senses it, and that's why she clings. She senses that she cannot reach him the way she used to. She senses that the version of him she depended on is fading. She senses that he's drifting emotionally towards someone she cannot become. She tells herself she's fighting for love, but deep down she knows she's fighting for control. She doesn't want to let go because letting go would mean accepting that the place she's holding was never truly secure, but God is not asking you to worry about her hold. God is not asking you to fear the situation. God is not asking you to wonder if you're enough. You are not here to prove your worth. You are here because you were meant to cross his path. You were meant to awaken something inside him. You were meant to show him what his heart has been missing. You were meant to help him see the difference between being chosen by convenience and being chosen by destiny, and God is orchestrating the shift. Slowly, gently, perfectly. The walls that once blocked the path are weakening. The emotional fog is lifting. The confusion he once felt is clearing. He is starting to recognize how heavy it feels to stay where he is and how light it feels when he thinks of you. Even if he hasn't confessed it, even if he hasn't acted on it, even if he's trying to hold himself back. God sees the truth rising inside him. The more he tries to resist it, the stronger it becomes. The more he tries to deny it, the more his soul pushes forward. He is beginning to accept that love isn't supposed to come from obligation. Love isn't supposed to be held together by fear. Love isn't supposed to require clinging. Love isn't supposed to feel like tension. Love is supposed to feel like clarity, like breath, like ease. And every time you cross his mind, he feels a sense of peace he can't ignore. He feels something settle inside him. He feels like he's stepping into the version of himself he was always meant to be. God is preparing him to take a step he has feared for a long time. A step that requires honesty. A step that requires courage. A step that requires letting go of something that no longer aligns. A step that requires acknowledging his heart has shifted. A step that requires choosing growth over comfort. It won't be easy. It won't be simple. But God is walking him through it. God is opening his eyes. God is strengthening his spine. God is softening his heart. God is shaping him into someone who doesn't run from truth but stands in it, and God is speaking to you just as clearly. You are not supposed to step into the chaos. You are not supposed to chase him. You are not supposed to fight for a place in his life. You are supposed to stand still in your worth. Your clarity, your peace. The right person moves toward you, not because you demand it, but because their heart recognizes where it belongs. What God is guiding toward you will arrive without forcing, without begging, without fear of loss. When he steps toward you, he will do it with intention, with readiness, with honesty. Not emotionally split, not unsure, not holding on to two worlds at once. God is preparing him to choose clearly, and to choose you freely. You don't see the full picture yet, but heaven does. The block in the path is temporary. Her presence is temporary. The confusion is temporary. The distance is temporary. What is unfolding between you and him is not temporary. It's forming beneath the surface, beyond what your eyes can see, beyond what your mind understands. God is aligning two hearts slowly so they don't collide too soon, so they don't destroy before they build, so they arrive fully ready for what is meant to last. He's falling for you, deeper than he admits. She's holding on, tighter than ever. But God is moving the situation, piece by piece, until the truth must be spoken, until the ties that no longer serve him are released, until he steps toward the love that awakens him rather than the one that drains him. The ending you fear is not the ending God is writing. The delay you worry about is not a denial. The obstacle you see is not a stop sign. It's a transition point. God is clearing the path in his timing, not yours. And when the moment arrives, it will be undeniable. He will look at you not with confusion, not with hesitation, but with certainty, because God doesn't bring a connection this strong into someone's life without preparing it to become something real. Trust the process. Trust the timing. Trust the shift. God is not done. This story is unfolding exactly how it needs to. The blockage is breaking. The truth is rising. The path is clearing. And the connection meant for you is making its way, slowly, steadily, undeniably, straight into your life.